Time is the one resource we all share equally. It doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, or what you do for a living. Every single one of us has the same 24 hours in a day. Yet, despite this equality, some people seem to achieve so much more with their time, while others feel like it slips through their fingers, leaving them wondering where the day went. The difference isn't in how much time we have, but in how we choose to use it. In a world filled with endless distractions and demands, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We are bombarded by notifications, pulled in different directions by countless obligations, and tempted by quick fixes that offer temporary pleasure but no lasting satisfaction. The result? We end up wasting our most precious asset, time, without even realizing it. The hours turn into days, the days into years, and suddenly we're left with the nagging feeling that we've been standing still while life has moved on without us. But what if there was a way to take control of your time, to live each moment with purpose, to cut through the noise, and to focus on what truly matters? Imagine waking up every day with a sense of clarity, knowing exactly what you need to do and why you're doing it. Imagine being able to face challenges with calmness, to embrace discomfort as a path to growth, and to navigate life's transitions with grace and confidence. The truth is, you don't have to imagine it. This way of living is possible, and it starts with a shift in mindset. It starts with adopting a philosophy that has stood the test of time, one that teaches us to focus on what we can control, to accept what we cannot, and to find peace and purpose in the present moment. This philosophy is Stoicism. Stoicism is more than just an ancient philosophy. It's a practical guide to living a fulfilling life. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, making the most of every situation, and most importantly, not wasting time on things that don't truly matter. Stoicism teaches us to value our time and to use it wisely. It encourages us to cultivate patience, to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, and to find clarity and peace amidst the chaos of daily life. When you start living with a Stoic mindset, something remarkable happens. You begin to see time differently. No longer do you feel the urge to fill every moment with mindless activities or distractions. Instead, you become more intentional with your actions. You start to prioritize what's truly important, your goals, your relationships, your personal growth. And in doing so, you unlock a deeper sense of fulfillment and contentment. But this transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to let go of old habits and mindsets that no longer serve you. It requires a commitment to live according to principles that may feel uncomfortable at first, but ultimately lead to a more meaningful life. One of the most powerful lessons of Stoicism is the understanding that our time is limited, and we must choose how to spend it wisely. The Stoics believed in living in accordance with nature, which means accepting the flow of life, making the most of what we have, and not squandering our time on trivial pursuits. They taught that we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our attitudes, and let go of everything else. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that you'll never face challenges. In fact, Stoicism teaches us to expect difficulties and to view them as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. When you embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it, you build resilience. When you stop overthinking and focus on what's in front of you, you find clarity. And when you let go of the need for perfection and instead focus on progress, you discover a sense of freedom and peace that comes from knowing you're moving forward, even if the steps are small. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that being busy means being productive. But busyness is not the same as productivity. You can fill your days with activities and still feel like you're getting nowhere. True productivity comes from focusing on what truly matters, cutting out the noise, and dedicating your time and energy to the things that align with your values and goals. Stoicism teaches us to simplify our lives, to remove the distractions that pull us away from our true purpose. It encourages us to practice gratitude for what we have, rather than constantly striving for more. By doing so, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction that leads to wasted time and energy. Imagine the impact of living a life where every action is deliberate, every decision is made with intention, and every moment is spent in alignment with your deepest values. This is the power of Stoicism. It's not about achieving some idealized version of success. It's about living authentically and making the most of the time you've been given. So, where do you start? How do you begin to apply these Stoic principles to your life? The journey begins with a single step: awareness. Start by becoming aware of how you're currently spending your time. Are there activities or habits that are draining your energy without adding value to your life? Are you allowing distractions to pull you away from your goals? Are you holding on to perfectionism, which keeps you from making progress? Once you've identified the areas where you're wasting time, the next step is to take action. Begin incorporating Stoic practices into your daily routine. Cultivate patience by embracing the slow and steady progress that comes from consistent effort. Practice tolerance by accepting the things you cannot change and focusing on what you can. Let go of overthinking by grounding yourself in the present moment and trusting that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. As you continue on this path, you'll find that you're not just managing your time better, you're living better. You'll discover a sense of calm and contentment that comes from knowing you're making the most of every moment. You'll feel more confident in your ability to handle life's challenges, more focused on your goals, and more connected to the things that truly matter. Remember, time is not something to be taken for granted. It's a gift, and how you choose to use it will determine the quality of your life. By embracing the principles of Stoicism, you can stop wasting time and start living a life that is purposeful, fulfilling, and true to who you are. This journey won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. The challenges you face along the way will help you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And as you continue to apply these Stoic principles, you'll find that you're not just changing the way you use your time, you're changing the way you experience life itself. So take a deep breath, let go of the distractions, and focus on what truly matters. Your time is precious. Use it wisely. Patience and tolerance are often seen as elusive virtues, ones that we admire in others but struggle to cultivate within ourselves. In a world that demands instant results and rewards quick decisions, the qualities of patience and tolerance can seem outdated or even weak. Yet, if we take a closer look, these virtues are anything but. They are, in fact, the foundation of a strong, resilient character, one that can withstand the pressures of modern life without crumbling under stress or succumbing to anger and frustration. Imagine for a moment the kind of life you could lead if you possessed an unshakable patience, a deep reservoir of tolerance that allowed you to face any challenge with calmness and composure. Picture yourself navigating the ups and downs of life with a sense of peace, no longer agitated by delays, no longer frustrated by the actions of others. Instead, you move through your days with grace, understanding that everything happens in its own time and that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. This is not just a fantasy, it's a reality that you can achieve by adopting the principles of Stoicism. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers timeless wisdom on how to cultivate patience and tolerance. These teachings are not abstract or theoretical, they are practical guidelines that can be applied to everyday life. By embracing Stoic principles, you can develop the ability to remain calm in the face of adversity, to tolerate the imperfections of others, and to find contentment even in the midst of chaos. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the idea that we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This simple yet profound insight is the key to cultivating patience. When we become frustrated or impatient, it's often because we are trying to control something that is beyond our power, whether it's the behavior of others, the outcome of a situation, or even the passage of time itself. Stoicism teaches us to recognize these moments of frustration as opportunities to practice patience, to remind ourselves that we cannot control everything, and to focus instead on how we choose to respond. For example, consider the common experience of waiting. Whether it's waiting in line at the grocery store, sitting in traffic, or anticipating the outcome of a job application, these moments can be a source of great frustration. We feel our time is being wasted and our impatience grows. But what if, instead of allowing this frustration to take hold, we used these moments as opportunities to practice patience? By shifting our focus from the external situation to our internal response, we can transform waiting from a source of stress into a chance for self-improvement. When you find yourself in a situation that tests your patience, try to take a step back and observe your thoughts. Are you dwelling on how long something is taking? Are you fixating on how much you wish things would move faster? These thoughts are natural, but they are also unproductive. Instead, bring your attention to the present moment. Notice your surroundings, take deep breaths, and remind yourself that this moment too will pass. By practicing mindfulness in this way, you can begin to cultivate a sense of patience that is grounded in the present rather than in your desire for things to be different. Another powerful Stoic practice for cultivating patience is the exercise of negative visualization. This involves imagining the worst-case scenario in a given situation and then mentally preparing yourself to accept it. While this might sound pessimistic, it's actually a way of building resilience. By considering the possibility of things not going according to plan, you can reduce the impact of disappointment and frustration when things do go wrong. This doesn't mean you expect the worst. Rather, it means you are prepared for it, and as a result, you are less likely to be thrown off balance by life's inevitable challenges. For instance, if you are about to give an important presentation at work, you might practice negative visualization by imagining that the technology fails, that you forget your main points, or that the audience is unresponsive. By mentally preparing for these possibilities, you can approach the presentation with a calm and composed mindset, knowing that even if things don't go perfectly, you are ready to handle whatever comes your way. Patience is not just about enduring delays or setbacks. It's also about cultivating a sense of calm and composure in the face of life's challenges. This is where the Stoic practice of self-discipline comes into play. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses, to resist the urge to react hastily or emotionally, and to choose a measured and thoughtful response instead. By developing self-discipline, you can strengthen your ability to remain patient even in difficult circumstances. One way to build self-discipline is through the practice of voluntary discomfort. This involves deliberately exposing yourself to small challenges or discomforts in order to build mental and emotional resilience. For example, you might choose to take a cold shower, skip a meal, or walk instead of driving. These small acts of discomfort train your mind to tolerate difficulty, making it easier to remain patient when larger challenges arise. The Stoics also teach us that patience is closely linked to the virtue of wisdom. Wisdom, in the Stoic sense, is the ability to see things as they truly are, without being swayed by emotions or appearances. When we cultivate wisdom, we are better able to understand that our impatience often stems from a distorted perception of reality. We may be frustrated because we expect things to happen quickly or smoothly, but wisdom reminds us that life is full of obstacles, and that these obstacles are not inherently bad. They are simply part of the journey. To develop this kind of wisdom, it can be helpful to engage in regular reflection. At the end of each day, take some time to review your actions and reactions. Were there moments when you lost your patience? What triggered that impatience? How could you have responded differently? By reflecting on these questions, you can gain insight into your own behavior and make a conscious effort to improve. Over time, this practice of reflection will help you to develop a more patient and tolerant mindset. Tolerance, as a companion to patience, is equally important in the practice of Stoicism. While patience is about enduring difficulties without losing your composure, tolerance is about accepting the imperfections of others without judgment or resentment. In our interactions with others, we are often quick to criticize or become frustrated when people don't meet our expectations. We may find ourselves thinking, "Why can't they just do it right?" Or, "Why don't they understand?" These thoughts can lead to anger, resentment, and a breakdown in relationships. But Stoicism teaches us that tolerance is about recognizing that everyone is on their own journey, with their own challenges, perspectives, and limitations. Just as we want others to be patient with us when we make mistakes, we must be willing to extend the same patience to them. This doesn't mean accepting harmful behavior or allowing ourselves to be mistreated. Rather, it means approaching others with empathy and understanding, recognizing that their actions are often a reflection of their own struggles and not a personal attack on us. One of the most powerful tools for cultivating tolerance is the practice of empathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to understand their perspective and feelings. When we practice empathy, we are less likely to react with anger or frustration when others make mistakes or behave in ways that we find difficult. Instead, we can respond with compassion and understanding, recognizing that everyone is doing the best they can with the knowledge and resources they have. For example, if a colleague at work misses a deadline, your first reaction might be frustration or anger, especially if their delay affects your own work. But before reacting, take a moment to consider their situation. Are they dealing with personal issues that are affecting their performance? Are they overwhelmed with other tasks? By considering these possibilities, you can approach the situation with greater tolerance, offering support rather than criticism. Tolerance also involves letting go of the need for others to meet our expectations. We often become frustrated or intolerant when people don't behave in the way we think they should, but Stoicism teaches us to accept that we cannot control the actions of others. Instead of trying to change people, we can focus on changing our own reactions. This doesn't mean condoning bad behavior, but it does mean accepting that people are imperfect and that we can choose how we respond to their imperfections. Another important aspect of tolerance is forgiveness. The Stoics believed that holding on to grudges or resentment only harms the person who harbors these feelings. When we refuse to forgive, we carry the burden of anger and bitterness, which can poison our relationships and our own sense of well-being. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an act of letting go. It frees us from the chains of resentment and allows us to move forward with a sense of peace. Forgiving others doesn't mean forgetting or excusing their behavior. It means acknowledging that they are human, that they make mistakes, and that they, like us, are capable of growth and change. When we choose to forgive, we are practicing tolerance in its highest form, recognizing that everyone, including ourselves, is worthy of compassion and understanding. Tolerance also extends to ourselves. Just as we must be patient and forgiving with others, we must also be patient and forgiving with ourselves. We all have moments when we fall short of our own expectations, when we act in ways that we later regret. In these moments, it's easy to become self-critical, to dwell on our mistakes, and to feel frustrated with our lack of progress. But Stoicism teaches us that self-compassion is an essential part of personal growth. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, take a moment to reflect on what you can learn from the experience. Ask yourself what led to the mistake and how you can avoid it in the future. Then, let go of the self-criticism and move forward with a renewed sense of determination. By practicing self-compassion in this way, you can cultivate a greater sense of patience and tolerance towards yourself, which in turn makes it easier to extend these virtues to others. In the practice of Stoicism, patience and tolerance are not just passive qualities, they are active, deliberate choices that we make every day. They require effort, self-discipline, and a willingness to challenge our own ingrained habits and reactions. But the rewards of cultivating these virtues are immense. By developing patience, you can navigate life's challenges with a sense of calm and composure, free from the stress and frustration that come with unmet expectations. By developing tolerance, you can build deeper, more meaningful relationships with others, grounded in empathy, understanding, and mutual respect. As you continue to practice these Stoic principles, you'll find that patience and tolerance become not just something you strive for, but a natural part of who you are. You'll discover a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances, a strength that comes from knowing you can handle whatever life throws your way, and a sense of fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with your true values. The journey to cultivate patience and tolerance is not always easy, but it is one that is worth taking. It requires you to look inward, to examine your own thoughts and reactions, and to make a conscious effort to change. But with each step you take, you move closer to a life of greater peace, resilience, and connection. And as you continue to practice these virtues, you'll find that they not only transform your own life, but also have a ripple effect on those around you, creating a more compassionate and understanding world. In the end, patience and tolerance are not just virtues to be admired, they are skills to be practiced, honed, and integrated into your daily life. By embracing the principles of Stoicism, you can develop these skills in a way that is both practical and profound, leading to a life that is more balanced, more fulfilling, and more true to who you are. So take a deep breath, commit to the journey, and remember that with each moment of patience and tolerance, you are creating a better life for yourself and for those around you. Just as patience and tolerance are crucial in navigating life's inevitable challenges, there is another battle many of us face daily, one that occurs entirely within our own minds. Overthinking, the endless loop of thoughts that often spirals out of control, can rob us of peace, clarity, and the ability to make sound decisions. It's the quiet enemy that keeps us awake at night, replaying conversations, analyzing past choices, and worrying about the future. Overthinking can make even the simplest decisions feel overwhelming and can cloud our judgment, leading to stress and anxiety. But what if you could break free from this mental trap? What if you could quiet your mind, find clarity, and approach each moment with a sense of calm and purpose? The truth is, overthinking is not an insurmountable obstacle. With the right tools and mindset, you can learn to control your thoughts rather than letting them control you. Stoicism offers powerful strategies to help you cut through the noise, clear your mind, and focus on what truly matters. One of the first steps to overcoming overthinking is to understand its root causes. Often, overthinking stems from a fear of the unknown, a desire for control, or a lack of confidence in our decisions. We replay scenarios in our minds, trying to predict every possible outcome, hoping that by doing so, we can avoid making mistakes. But this constant analysis often leads to paralysis, where the fear of making the wrong choice keeps us from making any choice at all. Stoicism teaches us to shift our focus away from the outcomes we cannot control and instead concentrate on the actions we can take in the present moment. By redirecting our attention to what we can do right now, we begin to break free from the cycle of overthinking. This doesn't mean acting impulsively or without thought. Rather, it means trusting that once we've done our best to consider a situation, we can let go of the need to control every aspect of the outcome. Another key Stoic principle that can help with overthinking is the practice of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It means stepping back from our emotions and recognizing that our thoughts are not necessarily reflective of reality. Often, overthinking is fueled by emotional reactions, fear, anxiety, guilt, that cloud our judgment and keep us trapped in a loop of negative thinking. By practicing detachment, we can observe our thoughts without becoming overwhelmed by them. We learn to see our thoughts for what they are, fleeting mental events that do not define us. For example, imagine you've made a mistake at work. Your mind begins to race, replaying the mistake over and over, imagining all the potential consequences and worrying about what others might think of you. This is a classic case of overthinking, but by practicing detachment, you can step back from these thoughts and recognize that they are just that, thoughts. The mistake has already happened, and there's nothing you can do to change it. What you can do is focus on what happens next, how you respond, how you learn from the experience, and how you move forward. The Stoics also teach us the importance of living in the present moment. Overthinking often pulls us away from the present, as our minds become consumed with regrets about the past or fears about the future. But the present moment is the only time we have any real control over. By grounding ourselves in the present, we can reduce the power of overthinking and find clarity in our thoughts. This can be achieved through simple practices such as mindfulness, where we bring our attention fully to what we are doing right now, whether it's eating, walking, or even just breathing. Mindfulness can be a powerful antidote to overthinking. When we practice mindfulness, we train our minds to focus on the here and now, rather than getting lost in the endless stream of thoughts. This doesn't mean that we ignore our thoughts or push them away. Instead, we acknowledge them without getting caught up in them. By doing so, we create a space between our thoughts and our reactions, allowing us to respond to situations with greater clarity and calm. Another Stoic strategy for stopping overthinking is to practice acceptance. Much of our overthinking is driven by a desire to change things that are beyond our control. We worry about the future, try to rewrite the past in our minds, and agonize over situations that we simply cannot influence. But Stoicism teaches us to accept what is, rather than wasting energy trying to change the unchangeable. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or defeat. It means recognizing reality for what it is and choosing to focus on what we can do within that reality. For instance, if you're worried about a loved one's health, your mind might spin with all the possible outcomes, from the best to the worst-case scenarios. This kind of overthinking can be exhausting and unproductive. But by practicing acceptance, you acknowledge that while you cannot control their health outcomes, you can control how you support them, how you care for them, and how you take care of yourself in the process. By shifting your focus from what you cannot do to what you can, you begin to find clarity and reduce the burden of overthinking. Another powerful tool in the Stoic arsenal is the practice of journaling. The Stoics often wrote about the benefits of keeping a journal where they could reflect on their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Journaling can be an effective way to process your thoughts, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed by overthinking. By putting your thoughts down on paper, you give them a concrete form, which can make them feel more manageable. Journaling allows you to organize your thoughts, identify patterns, and gain insights into what's driving your overthinking. It also provides a space to challenge irrational thoughts and replace them with more balanced, constructive ones. For example, if you're struggling with a decision and find yourself overthinking every possible outcome, writing about your thoughts can help you clarify what's really important. As you write, you might discover that your fears are based on unlikely scenarios, or that your concerns are more about what others might think than about what's truly best for you. Journaling helps you untangle the web of overthinking, allowing you to see your situation more clearly and make decisions with greater confidence. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of cultivating a sense of purpose. When we have a clear sense of what matters most to us, we're less likely to get caught up in overthinking the small stuff. A strong sense of purpose acts as a guide, helping us to prioritize our thoughts and actions. When faced with a decision, we can ask ourselves, does this align with my purpose? Does it bring me closer to my goals, or is it a distraction? By keeping our purpose front and center, we can reduce the tendency to overthink and instead focus on what truly matters. Consider someone who is passionate about helping others. When they are clear about their purpose, they are less likely to get bogged down in overthinking minor details or setbacks. They can focus on the bigger picture, knowing that their actions are aligned with their values. This clarity of purpose helps them to navigate challenges with a calm mind, reducing the mental clutter that overthinking often creates. Another Stoic strategy to stop overthinking is to embrace the idea of impermanence. The Stoics believed that everything in life is temporary, and that recognizing this truth can help us to find peace and clarity. When we overthink, it's often because we're clinging to something, whether it's a past mistake, a future worry, or a desire for things to be a certain way. But when we remind ourselves that everything is fleeting, we can let go of the need to control or fix everything. We can accept that change is a natural part of life and that our thoughts too will pass. For instance, if you find yourself overthinking a conflict with a friend, it can be helpful to remember that both your feelings and the situation are temporary. The intensity of the conflict will fade over time, and your relationship will either heal or evolve. By embracing the impermanence of the situation, you can reduce the emotional charge that fuels overthinking and approach the situation with a clearer mind. In addition to these strategies, Stoicism encourages us to practice gratitude as a way to stop overthinking and find clarity. Overthinking often arises from a focus on what we lack or what could go wrong. But when we shift our focus to what we have and what is going well, we can break the cycle of negative thinking. Gratitude helps us to see the positive aspects of our lives, even in difficult situations, and this perspective can bring a sense of peace and clarity. For example, if you're overthinking a difficult decision, try focusing on what you're grateful for in that moment. Perhaps you're grateful for the opportunity to make a choice, for the support of loved ones, or for the lessons you've learned from past experiences. By cultivating gratitude, you can calm your mind and make decisions from a place of clarity rather than fear. Stoicism also teaches us the value of simplicity. In our modern world, we are often overwhelmed by information, options, and distractions. This overload can fuel overthinking as we try to process too much at once. But by simplifying our lives, by reducing the number of decisions we need to make, by limiting distractions, and by focusing on what truly matters, we can create the mental space needed for clarity. Consider your daily routine. Are there areas where you could simplify? Could you reduce the number of decisions you need to make each day by establishing routines or setting clear priorities? By simplifying your life in this way, you can free up mental energy and reduce the tendency to overthink. Stoicism also encourages us to cultivate self-awareness. Overthinking often occurs when we're not fully aware of our thoughts and feelings. We get caught up in the whirlwind of our minds without taking the time to step back and observe what's really going on. But by practicing self-awareness, we can gain insight into our thought patterns and identify when we're starting to overthink. One way to cultivate self-awareness is through meditation. By taking time each day to sit quietly and observe your thoughts, you can become more aware of the patterns of overthinking. Meditation helps you to develop the ability to notice your thoughts without getting caught up in them, allowing you to choose how you respond rather than reacting automatically. Over time, this practice can help you to break free from the cycle of overthinking and find greater clarity in your mind. Another important aspect of Stoicism is the idea of focusing on what is within your control. Overthinking often arises when we try to control things that are beyond our influence, whether it's other people's opinions, the future, or the outcome of our actions. But Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By directing our energy towards what we can influence, we can reduce the stress and anxiety that fuel overthinking. For example, if you're overthinking a project at work, ask yourself, what aspects of this project are within my control? Perhaps you can control the effort you put in, the way you communicate with your team, or how you manage your time. By focusing on these factors, you can reduce the overwhelming sense of needing to control everything and find greater clarity in how to proceed. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of setting boundaries, both in our external lives and within our minds. Overthinking can often occur when we allow our thoughts to run unchecked, jumping from one worry to the next without any clear direction. But by setting mental boundaries, by deciding when to think about something and when to let it go, we can take control of our thoughts rather than letting them control us. For instance, if you find yourself overthinking at night, set a boundary by deciding to dedicate a specific time earlier in the day to address your concerns. Once that time has passed, commit to letting go of those thoughts until the next designated time. This practice of setting mental boundaries can help you to compartmentalize your thoughts, reducing the likelihood of them spiraling out of control. Another Stoic practice that can help with overthinking is the concept of amor fati, or loving one's fate. This idea encourages us to embrace everything that happens to us, both good and bad, as part of our journey. When we accept that everything in life has a purpose and that every experience contributes to our growth, we can reduce the tendency to overthink and instead approach life with a sense of acceptance and peace. For example, if you're overthinking a recent failure, try to view it through the lens of amor fati. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can this failure help me grow? By embracing the situation as part of your journey, you can find clarity and move forward with a sense of purpose, rather than getting stuck in a cycle of overthinking. Finally, Stoicism teaches us the importance of taking action. Overthinking often occurs when we get stuck in analysis, trying to predict every possible outcome before making a decision. But Stoicism reminds us that action is the antidote to overthinking. By taking decisive steps, even if they are small, we can break free from the paralysis of overthinking and find clarity in the process. For example, if you're overthinking a decision, take a small step towards resolving it. This could be making a pros and cons list, seeking advice from a trusted friend, or simply choosing one option and seeing how it goes. By taking action, you move from a state of indecision to one of progress, reducing the mental clutter that overthinking creates. Overthinking is a common challenge, but it is one that can be overcome with the right mindset and strategies. By applying Stoic principles, such as focusing on what you can control, practicing mindfulness and acceptance, cultivating gratitude, and taking action, you can quiet your mind, find clarity, and live with greater peace and purpose. The journey to stop overthinking is not always easy, but with patience, practice and perseverance, it is possible to break free from the mental traps that hold you back and to embrace a life of clarity and calm. As you continue to quiet your mind and find clarity through Stoic practices, another crucial aspect of this journey comes into focus: the role of discomfort in personal growth. We often go to great lengths to avoid discomfort, seeking instead the safety of our comfort zones, where everything feels familiar and secure. But deep down, we know that real growth happens when we step outside these boundaries, when we challenge ourselves to face the difficulties that life inevitably presents. Yet, how can we learn to embrace discomfort rather than fearing it? How can we see it not as something to be avoided, but as a powerful catalyst for transformation? Stoicism provides a roadmap for turning discomfort into a tool for personal growth. It teaches us that discomfort is not the enemy, but rather a necessary part of becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. By shifting our mindset, we can begin to see challenges and difficulties not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. This shift in perspective is essential because the discomforts we face in life are often the very experiences that shape us into the people we are meant to become. One of the most fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the idea that we should not only accept discomfort, but actively seek it out as a means of fortifying our character. The Stoics understood that life is filled with difficulties, and rather than avoiding them, they believed in preparing for them. This preparation wasn't just physical, it was mental and emotional as well. By intentionally exposing ourselves to discomfort, we can train our minds to handle challenges with grace and strength, transforming what might seem unbearable into something manageable, even empowering. Take, for example, the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. This involves deliberately placing yourself in situations that are challenging or uncomfortable, not for the sake of suffering, but to build resilience. It might be as simple as taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, or refraining from a favorite indulgence. These small acts of self-denial teach us that we can endure more than we think, and they help to build a mindset that is unafraid of discomfort. When we regularly expose ourselves to discomfort, we become less fearful of it. We start to see it as a natural part of life, something that we can handle rather than something that overwhelms us. This shift in mindset is crucial because it allows us to approach challenges with confidence, knowing that we have already faced and overcome difficulties before. By embracing discomfort in small, controlled ways, we build the mental toughness needed to face the larger, unexpected challenges that life throws our way. This concept extends beyond physical discomfort to the emotional and psychological discomforts we encounter daily. Whether it's the fear of failure, the anxiety of making a difficult decision, or the stress of confronting a problem, Stoicism teaches us to face these discomforts head-on, rather than retreating into avoidance. The Stoics believed that by confronting our fears and anxieties directly, we could diminish their power over us. This doesn't mean that the discomfort disappears, but rather that it becomes something we can manage, something that no longer dictates our actions or limits our potential. Consider the fear of failure, which is a common source of discomfort for many people. This fear can be paralyzing, leading to procrastination, avoidance, and missed opportunities. But Stoicism teaches us that failure is not something to be feared. It is a necessary part of learning and growth. Every failure, every setback, is an opportunity to gain wisdom, to understand our weaknesses, and to improve. By embracing the discomfort of failure, we open ourselves up to the possibility of growth and success that would otherwise be out of reach. One of the most powerful tools the Stoics used to embrace discomfort was the practice of negative visualization. This involves imagining the worst-case scenario in any given situation, not to dwell on negativity, but to prepare the mind for whatever may come. By contemplating the possibility of loss, pain, or failure, we train ourselves to accept these outcomes if they occur. This practice builds resilience as we become less attached to specific outcomes and more focused on how we respond to whatever happens. For example, if you're preparing for a major presentation at work, you might practice negative visualization by imagining that the presentation goes poorly, that the technology fails, that you forget your key points, or that the audience is unresponsive. By mentally preparing for these scenarios, you reduce the anxiety that comes from fearing the worst. Instead, you approach the presentation with a calm, prepared mindset, knowing that even if things don't go perfectly, you have the resilience to handle it. Negative visualization also helps us to appreciate what we have. By imagining life without the things we take for granted, we can develop a deeper sense of gratitude and contentment. This practice not only prepares us for potential loss, but also enriches our daily lives by reminding us to cherish the present moment. Another key Stoic strategy for embracing discomfort is the concept of amor fati, which means loving one's fate. This idea encourages us to not only accept the challenges and difficulties we face, but to embrace them as necessary parts of our journey. Amor fati teaches us that everything that happens to us, even the painful and uncomfortable moments, is a part of our growth and development. By embracing our fate, we learn to see discomfort as a teacher, guiding us toward greater wisdom and resilience. For instance, if you're going through a difficult time, whether it's a personal loss, a career setback, or a health challenge, amor fati encourages you to find meaning in that experience. Instead of wishing things were different, you ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge help me grow? By embracing discomfort in this way, you transform it from something negative into a powerful catalyst for personal growth. Stoicism also teaches us the value of enduring discomfort with dignity and grace. The Stoics believed that how we handle difficult situations defines our character. They encouraged us to approach challenges with a calm and composed mindset, to resist the urge to complain or give in to despair, and to maintain our integrity even in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Rather, it means choosing to respond to discomfort in a way that aligns with our values and principles. One way to cultivate this dignified approach to discomfort is through the practice of self-reflection. By regularly examining our thoughts, actions, and reactions, we can identify areas where we struggle with discomfort and make a conscious effort to improve. Self-reflection allows us to recognize our growth over time, to see how we've handled challenges in the past, and to use those experiences as a guide for facing future difficulties. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of perspective when dealing with discomfort. Often, what makes discomfort feel unbearable is our perception of it. We magnify our difficulties in our minds, imagining them to be worse than they are, and this amplifies our suffering. But Stoicism teaches us to put our challenges into perspective, to see them as temporary and manageable rather than insurmountable. For example, if you're dealing with a stressful situation at work, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and anxious. But by stepping back and putting the situation into perspective, you can reduce its impact on your well-being. Ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? How does this situation compare to other challenges I've faced? By reframing the discomfort in this way, you can approach it with a calmer, more balanced mindset. Another important aspect of embracing discomfort is the willingness to take risks. Growth often requires us to step into the unknown, to take on challenges that scare us, and to push beyond our comfort zones. This is where true resilience is built. Stoicism teaches us that the greatest rewards often come from the greatest risks, and that by facing discomfort head-on, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. Consider a situation where you have the opportunity to take on a new role or project at work, but you're hesitant because it feels challenging and outside of your comfort zone. Stoicism encourages you to embrace this discomfort, to see it as an opportunity for growth, and to take the risk. Even if the outcome isn't what you hoped for, the experience will teach you valuable lessons and help you build resilience for the future. Stoicism also encourages us to embrace the discomfort of uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and the fear of the unknown can be a significant source of discomfort. But the Stoics believed that uncertainty is an inherent part of life, and that learning to live with it is essential for personal growth. By accepting that we cannot control everything, we can reduce the anxiety that comes from trying to predict or manage the future. Instead, we focus on what we can control: our actions, our attitudes, and our responses to whatever life throws our way. This mindset is particularly important when facing significant life changes, such as a career transition, a move to a new city, or the end of a relationship. These moments of uncertainty can be incredibly uncomfortable, but they are also opportunities for growth. By embracing the discomfort of not knowing what the future holds, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences that we might otherwise have missed. Another Stoic strategy for embracing discomfort is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude helps us to focus on the positive aspects of our lives, even in the midst of discomfort. By cultivating gratitude, we can shift our perspective from what we lack or what is difficult to what we have and what is good. This doesn't mean ignoring the discomfort or pretending that everything is perfect. Rather, it means acknowledging the challenges while also recognizing the blessings that exist alongside them. For example, if you're going through a difficult period, try focusing on the things you're grateful for in that moment. Perhaps you're grateful for the support of loved ones, for the lessons you're learning, or for the strength you're gaining from facing the challenge. By practicing gratitude, you can find comfort and peace even in the midst of discomfort. Finally, Stoicism teaches us the importance of patience when it comes to embracing discomfort. Growth takes time, and the process is often slow and challenging. It's easy to become discouraged when progress feels slow or when the discomfort seems too much to bear. But Stoicism reminds us that patience is a virtue, and that true growth requires perseverance. By accepting that discomfort is a natural part of the journey, we can cultivate the patience needed to see it through to the end. This patience is particularly important when dealing with long-term challenges, such as overcoming a personal setback, recovering from an illness, or working towards a significant goal. These challenges often require sustained effort and resilience, and it's natural to feel frustrated or disheartened along the way. But by embracing the discomfort with patience, we can keep moving forward, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings us closer to our goal. In conclusion, embracing discomfort is not about seeking out pain or suffering for its own sake. It's about recognizing that discomfort is an essential part of growth and resilience. By applying Stoic principles such as voluntary discomfort, negative visualization, amor fati, and gratitude, we can learn to face challenges with a calm and composed mindset, transforming discomfort from something to be feared into something that strengthens us. The Stoic path to embracing discomfort is a journey of personal growth, one that requires courage, patience, and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones. But the rewards of this journey are immense. By embracing discomfort, we build resilience, gain wisdom, and develop a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. We learn that we are capable of more than we ever imagined, and that by facing life's challenges head-on, we can transform them into powerful opportunities for growth. As you continue on the Stoic path of embracing discomfort for personal growth, another powerful aspect of Stoicism comes into focus: the practice of gratitude. After a day spent navigating life's challenges, facing discomfort with resilience, and pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, there's a unique opportunity that presents itself in the quiet moments before sleep. It's the opportunity to reflect, to find peace in the day's events, and to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude. But how do you end your day on a note of fulfillment, no matter what the day has thrown at you? How can you turn these moments before rest into a ritual that nurtures your soul and strengthens your Stoic mindset? The answer lies in incorporating specific rituals inspired by Stoic teachings that help you focus on what truly matters, allowing you to close each day with a heart full of gratitude. These rituals aren't just about feeling thankful. They are about consciously directing your mind toward what is good, meaningful, and valuable in your life, even amidst the challenges. They help you to solidify the lessons learned throughout the day, to recognize the growth that has occurred, and to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for the days to come. One of the most fundamental aspects of ending your day with gratitude is the practice of reflection. The Stoics were firm believers in the power of self-examination. They knew that by looking back on the day's events with a critical yet compassionate eye, they could learn from their experiences and grow as individuals. Reflection allows you to assess how you handled the day's challenges, where you succeeded and where you fell short. But more importantly, it helps you to identify the things you are grateful for, whether they are big or small, obvious or subtle. For example, as you lie in bed at the end of the day, take a moment to reflect on the interactions you had. Did a colleague offer you help when you needed it? Did you have a meaningful conversation with a friend or family member? Or perhaps you simply enjoyed a quiet moment with a cup of tea. These moments, though they may seem minor in the grand scheme of things, are the threads that weave together the fabric of your life. By acknowledging them, you begin to see how much you have to be grateful for, even on days that were tough or exhausting. Another powerful Stoic ritual for ending your day with gratitude is the practice of journaling. The Stoics often wrote down their thoughts at the end of the day, using this time to process their experiences and emotions. Journaling is a way to capture the lessons of the day, to articulate what you are grateful for, and to set intentions for the future. By putting your thoughts on paper, you create a tangible record of your journey, a record that you can look back on to see how far you've come. When you journal with a focus on gratitude, you shift your perspective from what went wrong to what went right. For example, instead of dwelling on a mistake you made at work, you might write about the support you received from your team in fixing the issue. Instead of focusing on a difficult conversation, you might express gratitude for the opportunity to communicate openly and honestly. This shift doesn't ignore the challenges. It simply balances them with an awareness of the positives, helping you to end the day with a sense of peace and fulfillment. In addition to reflection and journaling, another Stoic ritual that can help you end your day with gratitude is the practice of mindfulness. The Stoics understood the importance of being present in the moment, of not allowing the mind to be consumed by worries about the past or anxieties about the future. Mindfulness is a way to bring your attention fully to the present, to appreciate the here and now. At the end of the day, this practice can take the form of a few minutes of focused breathing, where you simply sit quietly and breathe deeply, letting go of the day's stresses and allowing yourself to relax. Mindfulness also involves paying attention to the small details that we often overlook. As you wind down for the night, notice the sensation of your body relaxing, the feel of your bed beneath you, the sound of the evening around you. These simple experiences are often taken for granted, but they are a source of comfort and contentment when we take the time to appreciate them. By focusing on these small moments, you can cultivate a sense of gratitude for the simple pleasures in life, pleasures that are always present, even on the hardest days. Gratitude is also deeply connected to the concept of acceptance, another core Stoic principle. The Stoics taught that we should accept what we cannot change and focus on what is within our control. At the end of the day, this might mean accepting that not everything went according to plan, that you made mistakes, or that you faced difficulties. But it also means recognizing that these experiences are part of life's natural ebb and flow, and that they offer opportunities for growth and learning. For instance, if you had a particularly challenging day at work, acceptance might involve acknowledging that things didn't go as you hoped, but also recognizing that you did your best given the circumstances. It's about letting go of the need for everything to be perfect, and instead finding gratitude in the effort you put in, the lessons you learned, and the fact that you have the opportunity to try again tomorrow. By embracing this mindset, you end the day not with frustration or regret, but with a sense of peace and gratitude for the journey you are on. Another evening ritual inspired by Stoicism that promotes gratitude is the practice of setting intentions for the next day. The Stoics believed in the importance of living each day with purpose, of being intentional in their actions and decisions. At the end of the day, take a few moments to think about what you want to accomplish tomorrow. What are your goals? What do you want to focus on? By setting these intentions, you create a sense of direction and purpose that can carry you through the next day with confidence and clarity. But setting intentions isn't just about making plans. It's also about aligning your actions with your values. As you reflect on your intentions for the next day, consider how you can live more in accordance with your principles. Perhaps you want to be more patient, more compassionate, or more disciplined. By aligning your intentions with your values, you reinforce the connection between your actions and your sense of purpose, which in turn fosters a deeper sense of gratitude for the opportunity to live a meaningful life. Incorporating a ritual of gratitude at the end of the day also involves acknowledging the people who have supported and uplifted you. The Stoics believed in the importance of community and the interconnectedness of all people. They understood that no one is an island, and that our relationships with others are a vital source of strength and support. As you reflect on your day, take a moment to think about the people who made a difference, whether it was a kind word from a friend, a colleague who helped with a project, or a family member who provided comfort. Expressing gratitude for these connections not only strengthens your relationships, but also deepens your own sense of fulfillment. You might choose to send a quick message of thanks, make a mental note to express your appreciation the next time you see them, or simply hold them in your thoughts with gratitude. By focusing on the positive impact that others have on your life, you end the day with a sense of connection and appreciation rather than isolation or frustration. Another aspect of ending your day with gratitude is the practice of forgiveness, both of yourself and others. The Stoics recognized that holding on to anger, resentment, or guilt can weigh heavily on the mind and heart, preventing you from finding peace and contentment. At the end of the day, take a moment to release any negative feelings you may be holding on to. If you're angry at someone, try to understand their perspective and find it in your heart to forgive them. If you're frustrated with yourself, acknowledge your mistakes, learn from them, and forgive yourself. Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-compassion that allows you to let go of the burdens of the day and move forward with a lighter heart. It's about recognizing that everyone, including yourself, is doing the best they can with the resources they have. By ending your day with forgiveness, you create space for gratitude to flourish, as you are no longer weighed down by the negativity that might otherwise cloud your mind. Lastly, a Stoic ritual that can greatly enhance your sense of gratitude at the end of the day is the practice of contemplation. The Stoics were known for their love of wisdom and their dedication to philosophical contemplation. They believed that by contemplating the deeper questions of life, such as the nature of happiness, the meaning of life, and the pursuit of virtue, they could cultivate a sense of peace and fulfillment. At the end of the day, take a few moments to contemplate the bigger picture. Reflect on the lessons you've learned, the progress you've made, and the direction you're heading. Consider how your actions today align with your long-term goals and values. By contemplating these things, you gain a deeper understanding of your place in the world and the purpose of your journey. This perspective fosters a profound sense of gratitude for the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live a life of meaning. As you incorporate these Stoic rituals into your evening routine, you'll find that they not only help you to end the day with gratitude, but also set the stage for a more peaceful, purposeful, and fulfilling life. These rituals remind you to focus on what truly matters, to appreciate the good in your life, and to let go of the things that don't serve you. They help you to cultivate a mindset of abundance, where you see challenges as opportunities, mistakes as lessons, and every day as a gift. Gratitude, as the Stoics understood it, is not just a fleeting emotion. It's a way of life. It's a choice to focus on the positive, to appreciate what you have, and to find meaning in every experience. By ending your day with gratitude, you reinforce this mindset, making it a natural and integral part of your life. Over time, you'll find that this practice not only improves your mood and well-being, but also strengthens your resilience, enhances your relationships, and deepens your sense of fulfillment. In conclusion, the practice of ending your day with gratitude is a powerful way to cultivate a Stoic mindset and to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. By incorporating rituals such as reflection, journaling, mindfulness, acceptance, setting intentions, expressing gratitude for others, forgiveness, and contemplation, you create a space at the end of each day to focus on what truly matters. These rituals help you to find peace in the present moment, to appreciate the good in your life, and to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for the days to come. As you continue on your Stoic journey, remember that gratitude is not just about feeling thankful for the good things in your life. It's about recognizing the value in every experience, even the difficult ones. It's about seeing each day as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become the best version of yourself. By ending your day with gratitude, you reinforce this mindset, making it a natural and integral part of who you are. And in doing so, you create a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and fulfillment, one that is truly worth living. As you wrap up your day with gratitude, reflecting on the small victories and lessons learned, there's a realization that might begin to dawn on you. The pursuit of perfection is not only unnecessary, but it can also be detrimental to your growth and well-being. In a world that often pressures us to achieve flawless results in every aspect of our lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of perfectionism. We set impossibly high standards for ourselves, constantly chasing an ideal that seems just out of reach. But what if this relentless pursuit of perfection is holding you back from experiencing true progress and growth? What if the key to living a fulfilling life lies not in achieving perfection, but in embracing the beauty of continuous progress? Stoicism offers a powerful perspective on this issue, encouraging us to shift our focus from perfection to progress. The Stoics understood that striving for perfection is a futile endeavor because perfection, by its very nature, is unattainable. Instead, they taught that the real value lies in the effort we put into improving ourselves, in the small, consistent steps we take towards becoming better versions of ourselves. By letting go of the need for everything to be perfect, we free ourselves from the stress and anxiety that often accompany this pursuit. We open ourselves up to the possibility of growth, of learning from our mistakes, and of finding satisfaction in the journey rather than the destination. This shift in mindset begins with recognizing the difference between perfection and excellence. Perfectionism often leads us to believe that we must be flawless in everything we do, that anything less than perfect is a failure. But Stoicism teaches us that excellence is not about being perfect. It's about doing our best in any given situation, recognizing our limitations, and accepting that mistakes and setbacks are part of the process. Excellence is about progress, about continuously striving to improve while understanding that we are human and that imperfection is an inherent part of our nature. One of the first steps in letting go of perfectionism is to change the way we define success. Instead of measuring success by the outcome, Stoicism encourages us to measure it by the effort we put in. This perspective is liberating because it allows us to take pride in our actions, regardless of the results. It teaches us that success is not about achieving a perfect outcome, but about the progress we make along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating. Consider the example of someone who is learning a new skill, such as playing a musical instrument. A perfectionist might become frustrated when they don't immediately master a difficult piece, seeing their mistakes as failures. But from a Stoic perspective, the focus should be on the effort they're putting in, the practice, the dedication, the willingness to keep trying despite the challenges. Each mistake is not a failure, but a learning opportunity that brings them one step closer to mastery. By embracing progress rather than perfection, they can find joy in the process of learning rather than frustration at not yet achieving their goal. This approach also helps us to cultivate resilience. When we focus on progress rather than perfection, we become more resilient in the face of setbacks. We understand that mistakes are not a reflection of our worth, but a natural part of growth. Instead of giving up when things don't go as planned, we learn to adapt, to see challenges as opportunities for improvement, and to keep moving forward. This resilience is crucial in all areas of life, whether it's in our personal relationships, our careers, or our personal development. Perfectionism often leads to procrastination as we become so focused on achieving the perfect outcome that we're afraid to even begin. We might spend hours planning, revising, and second-guessing ourselves, all in an effort to avoid making mistakes. But this fear of imperfection can paralyze us, preventing us from taking action and making progress. Stoicism teaches us that action is the antidote to this paralysis. By focusing on taking small, consistent steps, we can overcome the fear of imperfection and start moving towards our goals. For example, imagine you're working on a project at work and you find yourself constantly revising and reworking your ideas because you want them to be perfect. This desire for perfection can lead to delays, missed deadlines, and increased stress. But if you shift your focus to progress, you can begin to make steady, consistent improvements. Instead of aiming for a perfect final product, aim to make each iteration better than the last. By doing so, you'll find that the project evolves naturally over time and that you're able to achieve a level of excellence that is both realistic and satisfying. Another key aspect of embracing progress over perfection is the practice of self-compassion. Perfectionism often goes hand in hand with harsh self-criticism. We become our own worst enemies, berating ourselves for every mistake and flaw. But Stoicism teaches us to be kinder to ourselves, to recognize that we are all works in progress and that it's okay to make mistakes along the way. By practicing self-compassion, we can let go of the unrealistic expectations we place on ourselves and focus instead on the positive steps we are taking towards our goals. This practice of self-compassion is particularly important when it comes to dealing with setbacks. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and it's easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned. But Stoicism teaches us that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are simply part of the journey. By viewing setbacks as opportunities for growth, we can learn to approach them with a sense of curiosity and resilience, rather than frustration and defeat. One of the most powerful ways to embrace progress over perfection is through the practice of gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, from what we have yet to achieve to what we have already accomplished. By cultivating a sense of gratitude for the progress we've made, we can find satisfaction and fulfillment in the journey, rather than constantly striving for an unattainable ideal. For instance, consider someone who is working towards a fitness goal, such as running a marathon. A perfectionist might focus solely on the end goal, feeling frustrated or discouraged if they're not yet able to run the full distance. But by practicing gratitude, they can shift their focus to the progress they've made. Perhaps they've improved their stamina, or they're running faster or longer than they were a month ago. This sense of gratitude for their progress helps to reinforce their motivation, making the journey more enjoyable and fulfilling. Another important aspect of letting go of perfectionism is the recognition that life is a continuous process of growth and change. The Stoics believed that we are never finished products. We are always evolving, learning, and adapting. By embracing this mindset, we can let go of the need for perfection and instead focus on continuous improvement. This means being open to new experiences, learning from our mistakes, and being willing to change our approach when necessary. This mindset is particularly valuable in today's fast-paced world, where change is constant and the demands on our time and energy are high. By focusing on progress rather than perfection, we can stay flexible and adaptable, ready to meet new challenges and opportunities as they arise. This flexibility is a key component of resilience, helping us to navigate the ups and downs of life with a sense of calm and confidence. Part of embracing progress is also about recognizing the importance of patience. Progress takes time, and the journey towards our goals is often longer and more complex than we anticipate. The Stoics understood that patience is a virtue, one that allows us to stay focused and committed even when progress is slow or difficult. By cultivating patience, we can avoid the frustration and disappointment that often accompany the pursuit of perfection, and instead find satisfaction in the steady, gradual progress we are making. For example, imagine someone who is working towards a long-term career goal, such as earning a promotion or starting their own business. The path to success may be filled with challenges, setbacks, and delays, and it's easy to become impatient or discouraged. But by focusing on progress, they can stay motivated and committed, knowing that each small step is bringing them closer to their goal. This patience allows them to stay the course, even when the journey is difficult, and to find fulfillment in the process of growth and learning. In addition to patience, the Stoics also emphasized the importance of perseverance. Perseverance is the ability to keep going even when the road is tough and the challenges seem insurmountable. It's about staying committed to your goals, even when progress is slow or difficult. By embracing progress over perfection, we can develop the perseverance needed to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey may be. Perseverance is particularly important in the face of failure. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and it's something that everyone experiences at some point. But the way we respond to failure can make all the difference. A perfectionist might see failure as a sign that they're not good enough and give up on their goals altogether. But from a Stoic perspective, failure is simply a stepping stone on the path to success. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to improve. By embracing failure as part of the process, we can develop the perseverance needed to keep going, even when things don't go as planned. In addition to perseverance, The Stoics also emphasized the importance of humility. Humility is the recognition that we are not perfect, that we have limitations, and that we are always learning and growing. By embracing humility, we can let go of the need for perfection and instead focus on continuous improvement. This humility allows us to approach challenges with an open mind, to learn from others, and to be willing to change our approach when necessary. Humility also helps us to stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. When we let go of the need for perfection, we free ourselves from the pressures of comparison and competition, and instead focus on our own personal journey. This focus on our own progress allows us to stay true to our values, to prioritize what is most important to us, and to find fulfillment in the process of growth and learning. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-awareness in the pursuit of progress. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize our strengths and weaknesses, to understand our motivations and desires, and to be honest with ourselves about our goals and intentions. By cultivating self-awareness, we can identify areas where we need to improve and take the necessary steps to grow and develop. This self-awareness allows us to stay focused on our goals, to avoid distractions, and to make meaningful progress towards becoming the best versions of ourselves. Another most powerful insights the Stoics offer is the understanding that our pursuit of perfection often stems from a deep-seated fear of inadequacy. We strive to be perfect because we fear that anything less will expose our flaws and make us vulnerable. But Stoicism teaches us that vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a strength. By embracing our imperfections and acknowledging our vulnerabilities, we open ourselves up to genuine growth and connection. Embracing vulnerability can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships with others and with ourselves. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we allow ourselves to be authentic, to show up as we truly are, and to connect with others on a deeper level. This authenticity fosters trust, empathy, and compassion, both for ourselves and for those around us. It allows us to build relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than on the unrealistic expectation of perfection. For example, consider someone who has always felt the need to appear strong and capable, never allowing others to see their struggles or weaknesses. This need for perfection creates a barrier between them and others, making it difficult to form deep, meaningful connections. But by embracing vulnerability and allowing others to see their true selves, they open the door to genuine connection and support. They learn that it's okay to ask for help, to admit when they're struggling, and to rely on the strength of their relationships. Another key aspect of embracing progress over perfection is the practice of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is the recognition that we are enough as we are, that we do not need to be perfect to be worthy of love, respect, and happiness. By cultivating self-acceptance, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to prove ourselves, to meet unrealistic standards, and to seek validation from others. This self-acceptance allows us to focus on our own journey of growth and improvement, rather than on trying to meet the expectations of others. Self-acceptance is particularly important when it comes to dealing with criticism. In a world that often judges us based on our achievements and appearances, it's easy to internalize criticism and let it affect our sense of self-worth. But Stoicism teaches us that our worth is not determined by the opinions of others. By embracing self-acceptance, we learn to take criticism in stride, using it as an opportunity for growth rather than as a measure of our value. This self-acceptance allows us to stay true to ourselves, to pursue our own goals and values, and to find fulfillment in our own journey. In addition to self-acceptance, the Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-discipline in the pursuit of progress. Self-discipline is the ability to stay focused on our goals, to resist distractions, and to take consistent action towards our aspirations. By cultivating self-discipline, we can make steady, meaningful progress towards our goals, even in the face of challenges and setbacks. This self-discipline allows us to stay committed to our values, to prioritize what is most important to us, and to achieve a sense of fulfillment in the process of growth and learning. Self-discipline is particularly important when it comes to overcoming obstacles and setbacks. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to become discouraged or give up when things don't go as planned. But by embracing self-discipline, we can stay focused on our goals, even when the road is tough. This self-discipline allows us to persevere in the face of adversity, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey may be. Another important aspect of embracing progress over perfection is the recognition that growth is not always linear. The Stoics understood that progress is often messy, unpredictable, and filled with ups and downs. By embracing this reality, we can let go of the expectation that our journey will be smooth and straightforward, and instead focus on the progress we are making, even if it comes in fits and starts. This acceptance of the messy nature of growth allows us to stay motivated and committed, even when the journey is challenging. For example, imagine someone who is working towards a long-term goal, such as losing weight or building a new business. The journey towards this goal may be filled with setbacks, plateaus, and unexpected challenges. But by focusing on progress rather than perfection, they can stay motivated and committed even when the road is tough. This focus on progress allows them to celebrate their small victories, to learn from their setbacks, and to keep moving forward no matter how difficult the journey may be. The Stoic wisdom teaches us to let go of the need for perfection and instead embrace the beauty of progress and growth. By focusing on continuous improvement rather than striving for an unattainable ideal, we free ourselves from the pressures of perfectionism and open ourselves up to the possibility of growth, learning, and fulfillment. Through the practices of self-acceptance, self-discipline, vulnerability, and authenticity, we can cultivate a mindset of progress that allows us to navigate the challenges of life with resilience, grace, and a sense of purpose. As we continue on our Stoic journey, let us remember that true success is not about achieving perfection, but about the progress we make along the way, the small, consistent steps that bring us closer to our goals and help us become the best versions of ourselves. By embracing progress and growth with Stoic wisdom, we can find peace, fulfillment, and a deep sense of meaning in the journey of life. As you begin to embrace the wisdom of focusing on progress rather than perfection, you might start to feel the weight of past habits and mindsets that no longer serve you. While Stoicism offers a powerful framework for living a meaningful and resilient life, the path is not always straightforward. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to stumble into pitfalls that can derail your practice of Stoicism. These missteps are often subtle, creeping into your daily life without you even realizing it, and before you know it, you're far from the balanced, centered life you're striving to cultivate. But what if you could identify these common traps before they catch you? What if you could avoid the mistakes that so many people make, ensuring that your journey towards Stoic living remains true and steady? To truly embody Stoicism, it's essential to be aware of the most common missteps that can hinder your progress. These mistakes aren't just theoretical, they're practical errors that can disrupt your daily life and pull you away from the principles you're trying to live by. By understanding these pitfalls, you can guard against them, ensuring that you stay on the path of growth, resilience, and inner peace. One of the most common missteps in practicing Stoicism is misunderstanding the concept of control. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot. This sounds simple in theory, But in practice, it's easy to blur the lines between what is truly within our control and what is not. We often find ourselves trying to control outcomes, other people's actions, or even the course of events that are beyond our influence. This leads to frustration, anxiety, and a sense of powerlessness, the very emotions Stoicism seeks to alleviate. For instance, you might find yourself overly concerned with how others perceive you, trying to manage their opinions and reactions. But the Stoics remind us that we cannot control other people's thoughts, only our own actions and responses. By letting go of the need to control external factors, you can free yourself from unnecessary stress and focus instead on cultivating your inner strength and virtue. Another common mistake is neglecting the importance of daily practice. Stoicism is not a philosophy that can be fully embraced through occasional reflection or sporadic application. It requires consistent, daily practice, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply mindful living. However, it's easy to let this practice slip, especially when life gets busy. When we neglect our daily Stoic practices, we lose touch with the principles that keep us grounded, and it becomes harder to apply Stoicism in the moments when we need it most. Consider the practice of morning reflection, where you set intentions for the day and mentally prepare yourself for potential challenges. This simple ritual can set the tone for your entire day, helping you approach life's ups and downs with a Stoic mindset. But if you skip this practice, you might find yourself reacting impulsively, losing your temper, or becoming overwhelmed by stress. Daily practice is the foundation of Stoic living, and without it, the philosophy becomes much harder to live by. A related misstep is failing to reflect on your progress. Stoicism encourages us to regularly examine our thoughts, actions, and habits to ensure that we are living in alignment with our values. However, in the rush of daily life, it's easy to overlook this self-reflection, leading to a disconnect between our intentions and our actions. Without regular reflection, we can fall into patterns of behavior that are inconsistent with Stoic principles, hindering our personal growth. For example, you might notice that you've been more irritable or impatient than usual, but without taking the time to reflect on why this is happening, you might continue down this path unchecked. Reflection allows you to identify these patterns, understand their causes, and take corrective action, helping you stay true to your Stoic values. Another common pitfall in practicing Stoicism is becoming overly rigid in your interpretation of its principles. While Stoicism provides a strong moral and philosophical framework, it's important to remember that life is complex and nuanced. There are times when flexibility and adaptation are necessary, and holding too rigidly to a particular interpretation of Stoic principles can lead to dogmatism or a lack of empathy. For instance, the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control might lead you to become overly detached or indifferent to the suffering of others if misapplied. However, Stoicism also emphasizes compassion and the interconnectedness of all people. Balancing these aspects requires a nuanced understanding and the ability to adapt Stoic principles to the realities of life. Being too rigid can isolate you from others and prevent you from fully experiencing the richness of human connection. Another misstep to avoid is the tendency to intellectualize Stoicism without truly embodying it. It's easy to fall into the trap of treating Stoicism as a purely intellectual exercise, where you spend time reading and thinking about Stoic ideas without applying them to your life. While understanding the philosophy is important, Stoicism is meant to be lived, not just studied. Without practical application, the teachings of Stoicism remain abstract concepts rather than transformative tools for personal growth. For example, you might understand the importance of accepting what you cannot change, but if you continue to resist or struggle against reality in your daily life, you're not truly living by Stoic principles. Intellectual understanding must be paired with action, and it's through this action that the true benefits of Stoicism are realized. This leads to another related mistake: failing to integrate Stoicism into your relationships. Stoicism is often seen as a personal philosophy, but its principles are deeply relevant to how we interact with others. One common mistake is focusing solely on self-improvement while neglecting the impact of your actions on those around you. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate virtues like patience, kindness, and understanding, not just within ourselves, but in our relationships with others. Neglecting these aspects can lead to a disconnect between your personal growth and your interactions with the world. For instance, practicing patience in a difficult situation is a key Stoic principle, but if you're unable to extend that patience to others, such as being impatient with a friend or family member, you're missing an essential aspect of Stoic practice. Stoicism is about harmonizing your internal growth with your external behavior, ensuring that the virtues you cultivate within yourself are reflected in your relationships and interactions. Another common mistake is to use Stoicism as a shield against emotions, rather than a way to understand and manage them. Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy that advocates for the suppression of emotions, but in reality, it teaches us to manage our emotions by understanding their sources and redirecting them in constructive ways. Ignoring or suppressing emotions can lead to a buildup of unresolved feelings, which can eventually manifest in unhealthy ways. For example, if you're feeling anger or frustration, Stoicism doesn't tell you to ignore these emotions, but rather to examine their causes and decide how to respond in a way that aligns with your values. Suppressing emotions can lead to emotional detachment or even resentment, which is counterproductive to the Stoic goal of inner peace and emotional resilience. A related pitfall is misunderstanding the concept of indifference. Stoicism teaches that we should be indifferent to things outside our control, but this doesn't mean that we should be indifferent to everything. Some things, such as virtue and moral integrity, should be of utmost importance to us. Misinterpreting indifference as a lack of care or concern can lead to apathy, which is contrary to the Stoic ideal of active engagement with life. For instance, being indifferent to whether you succeed or fail in a morally neutral endeavor is a Stoic principle, but being indifferent to the suffering of others or to your own ethical conduct is not. True Stoic indifference is about prioritizing what truly matters, virtue and moral integrity, while letting go of concern for external outcomes that are beyond your control. As you become more aware of these missteps, you may also recognize the challenge of balancing Stoic detachment with the need for passion and engagement in life. Stoicism encourages us to approach life's challenges with calmness and composure, but this doesn't mean living without passion or enthusiasm. One common mistake is to become overly detached, losing the joy and vibrancy that comes from being fully engaged in life. Stoicism teaches that while we should not be overly attached to outcomes, we should still pursue our goals and live with purpose. It's possible to be passionate about your work, relationships, and personal growth while maintaining a Stoic perspective. The key is to find balance, being fully engaged in life without becoming overly attached to specific outcomes or allowing external circumstances to dictate your happiness. Another common misstep is failing to recognize the importance of community and connection in practicing Stoicism. Stoicism is often seen as a solitary practice focused on personal growth and inner resilience. However, the Stoics also emphasized the importance of community and the interconnectedness of all people. Failing to engage with others or to cultivate meaningful relationships can lead to isolation, which is contrary to the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with the world around you. For instance, you might be focused on your own Stoic practice, but neglect to connect with others who share your values or who could benefit from your support. Stoicism encourages us to be active participants in the world, to contribute to the well-being of others, and to find fulfillment in our connections with those around us. By recognizing the importance of community and connection, you can enrich your Stoic practice and find greater meaning in your life. As you continue to navigate the complexities of practicing Stoicism, it's important to recognize the potential for burnout. Stoicism encourages us to strive for excellence and to cultivate virtues through consistent effort, but it's also essential to recognize our limits and to practice self-care. One common mistake is to push yourself too hard in the pursuit of Stoic ideals, leading to exhaustion or burnout. Stoicism teaches the importance of balance and moderation in all things. By recognizing your own limits and taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being, you can sustain your Stoic practice over the long term. This means taking time to rest, to recharge, and to nurture your body and mind, ensuring that you have the strength and resilience to continue your journey. Another related mistake is failing to appreciate the progress you've made. Stoicism encourages us to strive for continuous improvement, but it's also important to recognize and celebrate the progress we've made along the way. Focusing solely on what you have yet to achieve can lead to frustration and a sense of inadequacy, while taking the time to acknowledge your accomplishments can reinforce your motivation and sense of purpose. For example, if you've been working on cultivating patience, take a moment to reflect on the situations where you've succeeded in staying calm and composed. By acknowledging your progress, you reinforce the positive changes you've made and build confidence in your ability to continue growing. One final common misstep to avoid in practicing Stoicism is losing sight of the importance of joy and gratitude in daily life. Stoicism is often associated with discipline and self-control, but it's also about finding joy in the present moment and appreciating the simple pleasures of life. Failing to cultivate joy and gratitude can lead to a sense of deprivation or austerity that is contrary to the Stoic ideal of living a fulfilled and balanced life. Stoicism teaches us to find contentment in the present moment, to appreciate the beauty of nature, the warmth of relationships, and the satisfaction of a job well done. By cultivating a sense of joy and gratitude, you can enhance your Stoic practice and find greater meaning and fulfillment in your daily life. This joy and gratitude are not about seeking external pleasures, but about finding peace and contentment within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. Practicing Stoicism is a journey of continuous learning and growth. By being aware of these common missteps and making a conscious effort to avoid them, you can stay true to the principles of Stoicism and cultivate a life of inner peace, resilience, and fulfillment. The path of Stoicism is not always easy, but by embracing progress, practicing self-awareness, and staying connected to your values, you can navigate the challenges of life with grace and wisdom. Remember that Stoicism is not about achieving perfection, but about the journey of becoming the best version of yourself, one step at a time. As you navigate the common missteps that can hinder your Stoic practice, you may start to recognize an underlying theme that links many of these challenges: the pursuit of contentment. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need more success, more possessions, more validation, it's easy to feel like true satisfaction is always just out of reach. We often find ourselves chasing after the next achievement or acquisition, believing that it will finally bring us the contentment we crave. But what if the key to lasting satisfaction isn't in having more, but in learning to be content with what you already have? What if, instead of endlessly pursuing external goals, you could cultivate a deep sense of inner contentment, no matter the circumstances? The Stoics believed that true contentment doesn't come from external achievements or possessions, but from within. They taught that by mastering our desires and learning to appreciate what we already have, we can achieve a lasting sense of satisfaction that isn't dependent on external factors. This isn't about settling for less or giving up on your goals. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the present moment, rather than constantly yearning for something more. One of the first steps in cultivating this sense of contentment is to practice gratitude. The Stoics understood that much of our dissatisfaction comes from focusing on what we lack, rather than appreciating what we have. By shifting your focus to the things you're grateful for, you can begin to change your perspective and find contentment in the present. This doesn't mean ignoring your ambitions or desires, but rather balancing them with an appreciation for what is already good in your life. For example, you might be working towards a promotion at work, feeling frustrated that you haven't yet reached your goal. But instead of fixating on what you don't have, try to focus on the aspects of your current job that you're grateful for. Perhaps you have supportive colleagues, meaningful projects, or the opportunity to learn new skills. By practicing gratitude for these things, you can find contentment in your current situation, even as you continue to work towards your goals. Another powerful Stoic technique for achieving lasting satisfaction is the practice of voluntary simplicity. In a world that often equates happiness with material wealth, the Stoics taught that true contentment comes from living a life of simplicity and moderation. By consciously choosing to live with less, we free ourselves from the constant desire for more, and in doing so, we create space for deeper, more meaningful experiences. This doesn't mean renouncing all material possessions, but rather being mindful of what you truly need and letting go of the excess that can clutter your life and mind. For instance, you might choose to simplify your life by decluttering your home, reducing your commitments, or cutting back on unnecessary expenses. These actions can help you to focus on what truly matters, allowing you to find contentment in the simplicity and peace that comes with a less cluttered life. Voluntary simplicity also helps to cultivate a sense of self-sufficiency, reminding you that your happiness doesn't depend on external possessions, but on your own inner resources. A related Stoic practice is the art of negative visualization, where you contemplate the loss of the things you value. This might seem counterintuitive, but the Stoics believed that by imagining life without the things we take for granted, our health, our loved ones, our possessions, we can cultivate a deeper appreciation for them. This practice helps to counteract the tendency to become complacent or dissatisfied with what we have, reminding us that everything in life is temporary and should be cherished while it lasts. For example, take a moment to imagine what your life would be like without one of the things you value most, whether it's your home, your family, or your health. How would you feel if you no longer had these things? By contemplating this possibility, you may find that your appreciation for these aspects of your life deepens, leading to a greater sense of contentment and satisfaction with what you already have. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of aligning your desires with your values. Much of our dissatisfaction comes from pursuing goals that are not truly aligned with our core values, leading to a sense of emptiness or disconnection even when those goals are achieved. By focusing on what truly matters to you, whether it's relationships, personal growth, or contributing to the greater good, you can cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment and satisfaction that goes beyond superficial achievements. For instance, if you value personal growth, you might find contentment in the process of learning and self-improvement rather than in the external markers of success that society often emphasizes. By aligning your actions with your values, you can find satisfaction in the journey itself, rather than constantly striving for external validation or approval. Another powerful Stoic technique for achieving lasting satisfaction is the practice of acceptance. The Stoics taught that much of our suffering comes from resisting reality, from wishing that things were different than they are. By learning to accept things as they are, whether it's a difficult situation, a challenging relationship, or a personal limitation, we can free ourselves from the frustration and disappointment that often accompany unmet expectations. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or giving up. It means acknowledging reality and choosing to focus on what you can control, rather than wasting energy on what you cannot. For example, if you're dealing with a difficult situation at work, acceptance might involve acknowledging that the situation is challenging, but choosing to focus on how you can respond to it constructively rather than wishing it were different. This shift in perspective can help you to find contentment in the midst of difficulty, knowing that you are doing your best given the circumstances. The Stoics also believed that contentment comes from living in accordance with nature, that is, accepting the natural flow of life and recognizing that everything happens for a reason. This doesn't mean that you should passively accept everything that happens to you, but rather that you should strive to understand the natural order of things and find peace in the knowledge that everything is as it should be. This mindset can be particularly helpful when dealing with setbacks or disappointments. Instead of becoming frustrated or discouraged, you can choose to see these experiences as part of the natural course of life and find contentment in the knowledge that you are growing and learning from them. By embracing the natural flow of life, you can cultivate a sense of inner peace and satisfaction that isn't dependent on external circumstances. Another important aspect of Stoic contentment is the practice of self-discipline. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from mastering your desires and impulses rather than being a slave to them. By cultivating self-discipline, you can free yourself from the constant pursuit of pleasure and gratification, and instead find contentment in the simple, meaningful aspects of life. This doesn't mean denying yourself pleasure, but rather being mindful of your desires and choosing to focus on what truly matters. For instance, you might practice self-discipline by setting limits on your consumption of material goods, or by choosing to spend your time and energy on activities that align with your values, rather than on fleeting pleasures. By doing so, you can cultivate a sense of satisfaction that comes from living a life of purpose and meaning, rather than one driven by the pursuit of temporary pleasures. As you continue to explore these Stoic techniques for lasting satisfaction, you may find that the key to true contentment lies in cultivating a sense of inner peace. The Stoics believed that true peace comes from within, and that it is only by mastering your thoughts and emotions that you can achieve lasting satisfaction. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather learning to manage them in a way that aligns with your values and goals. For example, if you find yourself feeling anxious or stressed, you might practice Stoic techniques such as mindfulness or meditation to calm your mind and regain your sense of inner peace. By learning to manage your thoughts and emotions, you can find contentment in the present moment, regardless of what is happening around you. Another powerful Stoic technique for cultivating lasting satisfaction is the practice of living in the present moment. The Stoics taught that much of our dissatisfaction comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, rather than fully experiencing the present. By focusing on the here and now, you can free yourself from the regrets and anxieties that often cloud your mind, and instead find contentment in the present moment. For instance, you might practice mindfulness by focusing on the sensations of your breath, the sounds around you, or the feeling of your body in the present moment. By doing so, you can cultivate a sense of peace and contentment that comes from being fully present in the moment, rather than constantly worrying about what has happened or what might happen. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of living with purpose and intention. They believed that true contentment comes from living a life that is aligned with your values and goals, and that is guided by a sense of purpose. By setting clear intentions and living with purpose, you can find satisfaction in the knowledge that you are living a meaningful life, rather than simply going through the motions. For example, you might set an intention to live with kindness, compassion, or integrity, and then take actions each day that align with that intention. By doing so, you can cultivate a sense of contentment that comes from knowing that you are living a life of purpose and meaning, rather than one driven by external goals or expectations. Another important aspect of Stoic contentment is the practice of letting go of attachment. The Stoics taught that much of our suffering comes from attachment to things that are beyond our control, whether it's material possessions, relationships, or outcomes. By learning to let go of attachment, you can free yourself from the constant desire for more, and instead find contentment in the present moment. For instance, you might practice letting go of attachment by focusing on what you can control, rather than on what you cannot. This might involve letting go of the need for external validation, or releasing your attachment to a specific outcome. By doing so, you can find peace and satisfaction in the present moment, rather than constantly striving for something that is beyond your reach. The Stoics also believed that true contentment comes from living in accordance with your values. They taught that by living a life of virtue, you can find satisfaction in the knowledge that you are living in alignment with your highest ideals. This doesn't mean that you have to be perfect, but rather that you should strive to live with integrity, kindness, and compassion in all that you do. For example, you might practice living in accordance with your values by treating others with kindness and respect, or by acting with integrity in your work or relationships. By doing so, you can cultivate a sense of contentment that comes from knowing that you are living a life of purpose and meaning, rather than one driven by external goals or expectations. Another important aspect of Stoic contentment is the practice of self-compassion. The Stoics taught that true satisfaction comes from accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all, and treating yourself with kindness and compassion. By cultivating self-compassion, you can free yourself from the constant pressure to be perfect, and instead find contentment in the knowledge that you are doing your best. For example, you might practice self-compassion by being kind to yourself when you make a mistake, or by acknowledging your own limitations and imperfections. By doing so, you can find peace and satisfaction in the present moment, rather than constantly striving for an unattainable ideal. The Stoic wisdom teaches us that true contentment doesn't come from external achievements or possessions, but from within. By practicing gratitude, voluntary simplicity, acceptance, self-discipline, and self-compassion, you can cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and satisfaction that isn't dependent on external circumstances. Through the application of these Stoic techniques, you can achieve lasting contentment and live a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. As you cultivate lasting satisfaction through the practice of Stoic principles, there inevitably comes a time when life throws you into the unknown, when the comfortable, familiar aspects of your life are upended by change. Whether it's a new job, a move to a different city, the end of a relationship, or even the transition into a new phase of life, these moments of change can be both exhilarating and terrifying. The ground shifts beneath your feet, and suddenly everything you once relied on seems uncertain. But what if these transitions, instead of being sources of anxiety, could be approached with grace, dignity, and inner strength? What if, by applying Stoic teachings, you could navigate these changes not only smoothly, but in a way that enhances your growth and resilience? Life's transitions, though often challenging, offer a unique opportunity to apply Stoic wisdom in a profound way. The Stoics believed that change is a natural part of life, something to be accepted rather than resisted. They taught that by embracing change and viewing it through the lens of Stoic philosophy, you can maintain your equilibrium and dignity no matter what life throws your way. This isn't just about surviving change, it's about thriving through it, about using these transitions as stepping stones to a stronger, wiser, and more resilient self. One of the most fundamental Stoic lessons for navigating life's transitions is the importance of acceptance. The Stoics taught that much of our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. When faced with change, the natural reaction is often to cling to what was, to resist the new and unfamiliar. But this resistance only creates more stress and anxiety. By practicing acceptance, by acknowledging that change is a natural and inevitable part of life, you can free yourself from this unnecessary suffering. Acceptance doesn't mean passive resignation. It means recognizing that you can't control the fact that change is happening, but you can control how you respond to it. For example, if you're dealing with a significant career change, accepting the situation as it is allows you to focus on what you can do to navigate the transition successfully, rather than wasting energy wishing things were different. This acceptance opens the door to proactive action, enabling you to approach the change with a calm and clear mind, ready to make the most of the new opportunities that arise. Another key Stoic lesson is the practice of focusing on what you can control. During times of transition, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the many aspects of change that are beyond your control. But Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from directing your energy towards the things you can influence and letting go of the rest. This mindset is crucial during transitions, as it helps you to stay grounded and focused, rather than becoming lost in the uncertainty. For instance, if you're moving to a new city, there may be many things that are outside your control: the reactions of others, the challenges of adjusting to a new environment, the uncertainties of your future in this new place. But what you can control is how you prepare for the move, how you approach the new experiences, and how you take care of yourself during the transition. By focusing on these controllable aspects, you can reduce anxiety and make the transition smoother and more manageable. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of maintaining perspective during times of change. It's easy to become consumed by the challenges and uncertainties of a transition, losing sight of the bigger picture. But Stoicism teaches us to step back and view our situation from a broader perspective. This means recognizing that change, while difficult, is often a necessary part of growth, and that it can lead to new opportunities and experiences that we might never have imagined. For example, consider someone who has just experienced the end of a long-term relationship. The immediate emotions might be overwhelming: grief, anger, fear of the future. But by maintaining perspective, they can begin to see the situation in a different light. Perhaps this transition, painful as it is, will lead to personal growth, new relationships, or a deeper understanding of themselves. By focusing on the potential for growth rather than on the loss, they can navigate the transition with greater grace and resilience. Another important Stoic teaching for navigating transitions is the practice of mindfulness. The Stoics understood the importance of being present in the moment, of not allowing the mind to be consumed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. During times of transition, the mind often races with what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, making it difficult to stay calm and focused. But by practicing mindfulness, by bringing your attention fully to the present moment, you can calm your mind and approach the transition with greater clarity and composure. For instance, if you're starting a new job and feeling anxious about what lies ahead, practicing mindfulness can help you to stay grounded. Instead of worrying about all the things that could go wrong, focus on what you're doing right now, whether it's preparing for your first day, meeting new colleagues, or simply taking a deep breath. By staying present, you can reduce anxiety and approach the transition with a sense of calm and readiness. Another key lesson from Stoicism is the importance of self-compassion during times of change. Transitions often bring challenges, setbacks, and moments of self-doubt. It's easy to become critical of yourself during these times, especially if things don't go as planned. But Stoicism teaches that we should treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend. Self-compassion means recognizing that change is difficult, that it's okay to struggle, and that you're doing your best in a challenging situation. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a major life transition, such as becoming a parent or caring for an aging relative, self-compassion can help you navigate the inevitable ups and downs. Instead of berating yourself for not having everything figured out, remind yourself that it's okay to feel uncertain, to make mistakes, and to ask for help. By being kind to yourself, you can approach the transition with greater resilience and inner strength. The Stoics also believed in the importance of community and connection during times of change. While Stoicism is often seen as a philosophy of personal resilience, it also emphasizes the interconnectedness of all people. During transitions, it's easy to feel isolated or alone, but Stoicism teaches that we are never truly alone. We are part of a larger community, and there is strength in connection. Reaching out to others, seeking support, and offering support in return can be powerful ways to navigate change with grace. For instance, if you're going through a difficult life transition, such as retirement or a major career change, connecting with others who have been through similar experiences can provide valuable support and perspective. By sharing your experiences and learning from others, you can find comfort in knowing that you're not alone and that others have successfully navigated similar challenges. Another Stoic lesson for handling life's transitions is the practice of gratitude. The Stoics understood that gratitude is a powerful antidote to fear and anxiety, helping us to focus on the positive aspects of our lives, even in the midst of change. During transitions, it's easy to become fixated on what is being lost or what is uncertain, but by practicing gratitude, you can shift your focus to what remains constant and what is still good in your life. For example, if you're dealing with the loss of a loved one, practicing gratitude for the time you had together, for the memories you shared, and for the support of those around you can help you navigate the transition with a sense of peace and acceptance. Gratitude doesn't eliminate the pain of loss, but it can provide a counterbalance, helping you to find moments of joy and appreciation even in difficult times. As you continue to apply these Stoic lessons to navigate life's transitions, you may also find that the practice of patience is essential. The Stoics taught that patience is a virtue, one that allows us to endure the difficulties of change without becoming overwhelmed or discouraged. Transitions often take time, and the process of adjusting to a new reality can be slow and challenging. By cultivating patience, you can allow yourself the time and space needed to adapt without rushing or forcing the process. For instance, if you're going through a significant life transition, such as adjusting to a new role or recovering from a major health setback, patience can help you to stay grounded and focused. Instead of becoming frustrated by the slow pace of progress, remind yourself that change takes time and that each small step forward is a victory in itself. By practicing patience, you can navigate the transition with greater ease and grace, knowing that progress, however slow, is still progress. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of resilience in navigating life's transitions. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to continue moving forward even when faced with challenges and setbacks. Stoicism teaches that resilience is not about never falling down, but about getting back up each time you do. During transitions, resilience is what allows you to keep going. even when the path is difficult. For example, if you're dealing with a major life change, such as starting over after a significant loss or moving to a new country, resilience can help you to stay strong and focused. It's about recognizing that setbacks are a natural part of the process, and that each challenge you overcome makes you stronger and more capable. By cultivating resilience, you can navigate life's transitions with confidence, knowing that you have the inner strength to handle whatever comes your way. Another important Stoic lesson for navigating transitions is the practice of humility. The Stoics believed that humility is essential for personal growth, as it allows us to recognize our limitations and to seek help when needed. During transitions, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you should have everything figured out, that you should be able to handle everything on your own. But Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from acknowledging that we are all human, that we all have limits, and that it's okay to ask for help. For instance, if you're struggling with a major life transition, such as adapting to a new phase of life or managing a significant loss, practicing humility can help you to reach out for support. Whether it's seeking guidance from a mentor, talking to a therapist, or simply leaning on a friend, acknowledging that you don't have to do it all alone can provide a sense of relief and make the transition more manageable. As you navigate life's transitions with the guidance of Stoic teachings, it's also important to practice self-awareness. The Stoics believed that self-awareness is key to personal growth, as it allows us to understand our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and to make conscious choices in how we respond to life's challenges. During transitions, self-awareness can help you to stay centered and focused, even when everything around you is changing. For example, if you're going through a significant life transition, such as a career change or a move to a new city, practicing self-awareness can help you to stay attuned to your needs and emotions. By regularly checking in with yourself, you can identify any areas where you might be struggling and take proactive steps to address them. This self-awareness allows you to navigate the transition with greater ease and clarity, ensuring that you remain true to your values and goals. Finally, one of the most powerful Stoic lessons for navigating life's transitions is the practice of embracing change as an opportunity for growth. The Stoics believed that change is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced, as it provides the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. By viewing transitions as opportunities rather than obstacles, you can approach them with a sense of curiosity and optimism, rather than fear and resistance. For example, if you're facing a major life transition, such as retirement or the end of a significant chapter in your life, embracing the change as an opportunity for growth can help you to navigate it with a sense of purpose and excitement. Instead of focusing on what is being lost, focus on what is being gained, the new opportunities, the chance to learn something new, the possibility of discovering new aspects of yourself. By embracing change as a positive force, you can navigate life's transitions with grace, dignity, and a sense of adventure. Navigating life's transitions with grace and dignity is not about avoiding change, but about embracing it as a natural and necessary part of life. By applying Stoic teachings such as acceptance, focus, perspective, mindfulness, self-compassion, connection, gratitude, patience, resilience, humility, and self-awareness, you can handle even the most challenging transitions with inner strength and composure. These lessons provide a roadmap for navigating the uncertainties of life with confidence, ensuring that you not only survive change, but thrive through it, emerging stronger, wiser, and more resilient. As you continue on your Stoic journey, remember that each transition is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become the best version of yourself. As you master the art of navigating life's transitions with Stoic wisdom, Another crucial challenge may arise, one that is more internal, yet just as formidable. It's the battle against self-sabotage, those subtle and often unconscious behaviors that can derail your progress and keep you from achieving your full potential. You may find yourself setting ambitious goals, only to watch as your actions or inactions undermine your efforts. It's a frustrating and disheartening cycle, one that can leave you feeling stuck and questioning your ability to succeed. But what if you could identify these self-sabotaging patterns and reverse them? What if, by applying Stoic principles, you could break free from these destructive habits and foster a mindset that supports your success? Self-sabotage is a complex issue, deeply rooted in fear, doubt, and often a lack of self-awareness. It's the voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that it's safer not to try at all. But Stoicism offers powerful tools to combat these negative thoughts and behaviors, helping you to cultivate a mindset that is resilient, focused, and aligned with your goals. By understanding the Stoic methods to stop undermining your success, you can transform self-sabotage into self-mastery, paving the way for a more fulfilling and successful life. One of the most effective Stoic strategies for overcoming self-sabotage is the practice of self-awareness. The Stoics believed that self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth, as it allows you to recognize your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and to understand how they influence your actions. By cultivating self-awareness, you can identify the self-sabotaging patterns that hold you back and take conscious steps to change them. For example, if you tend to procrastinate, you might start by examining the underlying reasons for your procrastination. Are you avoiding a task because it feels overwhelming? Are you afraid of failing? By understanding the root cause of your procrastination, you can begin to address it directly, rather than simply trying to force yourself to be more productive. This self-awareness is key to breaking the cycle of self-sabotage and replacing it with more constructive habits. Another powerful Stoic method for reversing self-sabotage is the practice of setting clear intentions. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living with purpose and intention, of being mindful of your goals and values in every action you take. When you set clear intentions, you create a roadmap for your actions, ensuring that they are aligned with your long-term goals. This focus helps to counteract the tendency to drift into self-sabotaging behaviors, as it provides a clear direction and motivation for your efforts. For instance, if you're working towards a major goal, such as starting your own business or achieving a fitness milestone, setting clear intentions can help you stay on track. Instead of getting bogged down by distractions or doubts, you can remind yourself of your intentions and use them as a guiding star, helping you to make decisions that support your success rather than undermine it. The Stoics also taught the importance of focusing on what you can control, a principle that is particularly relevant when it comes to self-sabotage. Many self-sabotaging behaviors are rooted in a sense of powerlessness or fear of failure, leading you to avoid taking action altogether. But Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control the outcome of your actions, you can control the effort you put in and the mindset you bring to the table. By focusing on what you can control, you can reduce the anxiety and fear that often lead to self-sabotage, and instead take proactive steps towards your goals. For example, if you're afraid of failing at a new project, focusing on what you can control, such as your preparation, effort, and attitude, can help to alleviate that fear. Instead of being paralyzed by the possibility of failure, you can focus on doing your best, knowing that the outcome is not entirely in your hands. This shift in focus allows you to take action with confidence, reducing the likelihood of self-sabotage. Another key Stoic method for overcoming self-sabotage is the practice of self-discipline. The Stoics believed that self-discipline is essential for achieving success, as it allows you to stay focused and committed to your goals, even in the face of challenges and distractions. Self-discipline is about making conscious choices that align with your long-term goals, rather than giving in to short-term impulses or fears. By cultivating self-discipline, you can break free from self-sabotaging habits and create a solid foundation for success. For instance, if you tend to give up on your goals when things get tough, practicing self-discipline can help you to stay the course. Instead of allowing setbacks or difficulties to derail your progress, you can use self-discipline to push through the challenges and keep moving forward. This persistence is key to overcoming self-sabotage and achieving your goals. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of resilience in the face of adversity, a quality that is crucial for overcoming self-sabotage. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going even when things don't go as planned. Self-sabotage often occurs when you encounter obstacles or failures and respond by giving up or doubting yourself. But Stoicism teaches that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are simply opportunities to learn and grow. By cultivating resilience, you can view challenges as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, and continue to pursue your goals with determination. For example, if you experience a setback in your career, such as being passed over for a promotion, resilience allows you to keep moving forward. Instead of letting the setback undermine your confidence or cause you to give up, you can use it as an opportunity to reassess your goals, improve your skills, and come back stronger. This resilient mindset is essential for overcoming self-sabotage and achieving long-term success. Another important Stoic strategy for reversing self-sabotage is the practice of mindfulness. The Stoics believed that mindfulness, being fully present in the moment, is key to living a meaningful and purposeful life. When you're mindful, you're less likely to be influenced by negative thoughts or distractions, and more likely to make choices that align with your goals and values. Mindfulness helps to counteract the self-sabotaging behaviors that often arise from unconscious habits or fears, allowing you to take control of your actions and steer them in a positive direction. For instance, if you tend to engage in negative self-talk, mindfulness can help you to become aware of these thoughts and challenge them before they undermine your confidence or motivation. By staying present and mindful, you can recognize when you're falling into self-sabotaging patterns and make a conscious choice to redirect your thoughts and actions in a more constructive direction. The Stoics also taught the importance of practicing gratitude as a way to counteract self-sabotage. Gratitude helps to shift your focus from what you lack or fear to what you already have and appreciate. By cultivating a mindset of gratitude, you can reduce the feelings of inadequacy or fear that often lead to self-sabotage, and instead focus on the positive aspects of your life and achievements. For example, if you're struggling with self-doubt, practicing gratitude for the progress you've made, the support you have, and the strengths you possess can help to boost your confidence and motivation. By focusing on the positive, you can counteract the negative thoughts that lead to self-sabotage and foster a mindset that supports your success. Another powerful Stoic technique for overcoming self-sabotage is the practice of detachment. The Stoics believed that attachment to specific outcomes or desires often leads to disappointment and self-sabotage. By practicing detachment, by letting go of the need for a particular outcome, you can reduce the fear and anxiety that often drive self-sabotaging behaviors. This doesn't mean giving up on your goals, but rather approaching them with a sense of equanimity, knowing that your worth and happiness are not dependent on any specific outcome. For example, if you're pursuing a goal, such as launching a new business, detachment allows you to focus on the process and the effort you're putting in, rather than becoming overly attached to a particular result. This mindset reduces the pressure and fear of failure, allowing you to take action with confidence and clarity. By practicing detachment, you can break free from the cycle of self-sabotage and approach your goals with a sense of calm and purpose. Another essential Stoic practice for reversing self-sabotage is the cultivation of self-compassion. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from being kind and understanding towards yourself, especially in times of difficulty. Self-sabotage often arises from harsh self-criticism or unrealistic expectations, leading you to undermine your own efforts out of fear of failure or inadequacy. By practicing self-compassion, you can create a supportive inner environment that encourages growth and resilience, rather than one that fosters self-sabotage. For instance, if you're facing a challenging task or goal, self-compassion allows you to approach it with a sense of kindness and understanding. Instead of criticizing yourself for not being perfect, you can acknowledge your efforts and progress and give yourself permission to make mistakes and learn from them. This compassionate mindset helps to reduce the fear and doubt that often lead to self-sabotage, allowing you to pursue your goals with greater confidence and resilience. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of aligning your actions with your values as a way to overcome self-sabotage. When your actions are in harmony with your core values, you're more likely to experience a sense of purpose and fulfillment, which can help to counteract self-sabotaging behaviors. This alignment creates a strong foundation for success, as it ensures that your efforts are directed towards goals that truly matter to you, rather than being driven by external pressures or fears. For example, if one of your core values is integrity, aligning your actions with this value might involve being honest and transparent in your work, even when it's difficult. By staying true to your values, you can create a sense of inner alignment that supports your success and reduces the likelihood of self-sabotage. This alignment also helps to build confidence and self-trust, as you know that you're acting in accordance with your highest ideals. Another key Stoic method for reversing self-sabotage is the practice of embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. The Stoics believed that challenges are not obstacles, but rather opportunities to strengthen your character and develop your skills. Self-sabotage often occurs when you view challenges as threats or as confirmation of your limitations. But by embracing challenges with a Stoic mindset, you can reframe them as opportunities to learn, grow, and become stronger. For instance, if you're facing a difficult situation, such as a demanding project at work or a personal challenge, embracing it as an opportunity for growth can help to reduce the fear and resistance that lead to self-sabotage. Instead of avoiding the challenge or doubting your ability to succeed, you can approach it with a sense of curiosity and determination, knowing that it will help you to develop new skills and strengthen your resilience. This growth-oriented mindset is essential for overcoming self-sabotage and achieving long-term success. As you continue to apply these Stoic methods to reverse self-sabotage, you may also find that the practice of setting realistic expectations is crucial. The Stoics taught that unrealistic expectations often lead to disappointment and self-sabotage, as they set you up for failure and frustration. By setting realistic and achievable goals, you can create a sense of progress and accomplishment that supports your success, rather than undermining it. For example, if you're working towards a major goal, such as writing a book or starting a business, setting realistic expectations can help you to stay motivated and focused. Instead of expecting immediate success or perfection, you can set incremental goals that allow you to celebrate small victories along the way. This approach reduces the pressure and anxiety that often lead to self-sabotage, and instead fosters a sense of steady progress and achievement. The Stoics also believed in the importance of practicing patience as a way to counteract self-sabotage. Patience allows you to stay committed to your goals, even when progress is slow or challenges arise. Self-sabotage often occurs when you become impatient or frustrated with the pace of your progress, leading you to give up or take shortcuts that undermine your efforts. By practicing patience, you can stay focused on the long term, knowing that success is a journey, not a destination. For instance, if you're working on a long-term project or goal, practicing patience can help you to stay the course, even when progress is slower than you'd like. Instead of becoming discouraged or giving up, you can remind yourself that true success takes time and effort, and that each small step forward is a victory in itself. This patient mindset helps to reduce the likelihood of self-sabotage, allowing you to stay committed to your goals and continue making progress. Overcoming self-sabotage and fostering success through Stoic strategies requires a combination of self-awareness, discipline, resilience, and mindfulness. By applying these Stoic methods, you can break free from the cycle of self-sabotage and create a mindset that supports your success. This journey is not always easy, but by staying committed to your goals and values, and by practicing patience and self-compassion, you can achieve lasting success and fulfillment. Remember that true success is not about perfection, but about progress, about the small, consistent steps you take each day to move closer to your goals. With the guidance of Stoic wisdom, you can navigate the challenges of life with confidence, resilience, and a sense of purpose, ensuring that you not only achieve your goals, but also grow and thrive along the way. As you master the art of reversing self-sabotage with the wisdom of Stoicism, you may begin to notice other underlying patterns in your life that quietly, yet persistently, hold you back. These patterns are the negative habits that, often without your full awareness, shape your daily actions and decisions. They're the habits that drain your energy, sap your motivation, and keep you locked in cycles of frustration and disappointment. But what if you could break free from these destructive patterns? What if, by applying Stoic principles, you could identify and dismantle the habits that hinder your growth, replacing them with behaviors that empower you to live your best life? Stoicism offers a powerful framework for recognizing and breaking free from these negative habits. It teaches us that our habits are not fixed. They are choices we make, often unconsciously, every day. By bringing these choices into the light of awareness and applying the discipline and wisdom of Stoicism, we can transform these destructive habits into ones that support our growth, resilience, and fulfillment. One of the most common negative habits that Stoicism can help you break is the tendency to ruminate on the past. This habit of replaying old regrets, mistakes, or missed opportunities can keep you trapped in a cycle of guilt and self-recrimination, preventing you from moving forward. Stoicism teaches that the past is beyond our control and that the only thing we can influence is how we respond to the present moment. By learning to let go of the past, you can free yourself from its grip and focus on the opportunities and choices available to you right now. For instance, if you find yourself constantly dwelling on a past mistake, whether it's a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or a poor decision, Stoicism encourages you to accept that the past is unchangeable. Instead of allowing it to define your present and future, you can choose to focus on what you can do now to improve your situation. This shift in focus from the past to the present is a powerful way to break the habit of rumination and reclaim your energy for more constructive pursuits. Another destructive habit that Stoicism can help you break is the habit of negative self-talk. This is the internal dialogue that tells you you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that you're destined to fail. Negative self-talk is often a product of fear and insecurity, and it can severely undermine your confidence and motivation. But Stoicism teaches that we are not our thoughts. We have the power to observe, question, and change them. By applying Stoic principles, you can begin to challenge and replace these negative thoughts with more empowering ones. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never be able to achieve this goal," Stoicism encourages you to examine the validity of that thought. Is it based on reality, or is it simply a fear-based assumption? By questioning your negative self-talk and replacing it with more realistic and constructive thoughts, such as, "I may face challenges, but I'm capable of overcoming them," you can begin to break the habit of self-doubt and cultivate a mindset that supports your success. Another insidious habit that Stoicism can help you overcome is the habit of procrastination. Procrastination is often a way of avoiding discomfort, whether it's the discomfort of starting a difficult task, facing potential failure, or dealing with uncertainty. However, Stoicism teaches that discomfort is a natural and necessary part of growth, and that by facing it head-on, we can build the resilience and discipline needed to achieve our goals. By applying Stoic principles, you can learn to push through the initial resistance and take action, even when it's uncomfortable. For instance, if you tend to procrastinate on important tasks, Stoicism encourages you to focus on the present moment and take the first step, no matter how small. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or feeling perfectly motivated, you can choose to take action now, knowing that progress often comes from simply starting. By breaking the habit of procrastination, you can create momentum and build the discipline needed to consistently work towards your goals. Stoicism can also help you break the habit of seeking external validation. This is the tendency to base your self-worth on the opinions, approval, or recognition of others. While it's natural to want to be liked and respected, relying too heavily on external validation can lead to anxiety, insecurity, and a lack of authentic self-confidence. Stoicism teaches that true worth comes from within, from living in accordance with your values and striving to be the best version of yourself, regardless of how others perceive you. For example, if you find yourself constantly seeking approval from others, whether it's in your work, relationships, or social interactions, Stoicism encourages you to shift your focus inward. Instead of asking, "What will others think of me?" ask yourself, "Am I living in alignment with my values? Am I acting with integrity and purpose?" By grounding your self-worth in your own actions and values, rather than in the opinions of others, you can break free from the habit of seeking external validation and cultivate a deeper sense of self-confidence and inner peace. Another negative habit that Stoicism can help you address is the habit of comparison. This is the tendency to measure your worth, success, or happiness against that of others. In today's world, where social media often presents a distorted picture of other people's lives, the habit of comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and dissatisfaction. But Stoicism teaches that each person's path is unique, and that true contentment comes from focusing on your own journey, rather than comparing yourself to others. For instance, if you find yourself feeling envious of someone else's success, Stoicism encourages you to refocus your attention on your own goals and progress. Instead of asking, "Why aren't I where they are?" ask yourself, "What steps can I take to move forward on my own path?" By letting go of the habit of comparison and focusing on your own journey, you can cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment that is based on your own achievements, rather than on how you stack up against others. Another destructive habit that Stoicism can help you break is the habit of overindulgence. Whether it's in food, drink, spending, or any other pleasure, Overindulgence can lead to a lack of self-control, diminished well-being, and a sense of guilt or regret. Stoicism teaches the value of moderation, self-discipline, and mindful living, encouraging us to enjoy life's pleasures without becoming enslaved by them. By practicing moderation and self-discipline, you can break the habit of overindulgence and create a more balanced and fulfilling life. For example, if you struggle with overindulgence in a particular area, such as overeating or overspending, Stoicism encourages you to practice mindful awareness of your desires and impulses. By recognizing when you're about to overindulge and choosing to exercise moderation instead, you can gradually break the habit and develop greater self-control. This not only enhances your well-being, but also strengthens your ability to make choices that align with your long-term goals and values. As you continue to explore the ways Stoicism can help you break free from negative habits, you may also find that it offers powerful insights into overcoming the habit of avoidance. Avoidance is the tendency to shy away from difficult or uncomfortable situations, whether it's a challenging conversation, a tough decision, or a personal fear. While avoidance might provide temporary relief, it often leads to greater stress, unresolved issues, and missed opportunities. Stoicism teaches that facing challenges head-on is essential for personal growth, and that by embracing discomfort, you can overcome the habit of avoidance and build resilience. For instance, if you have a habit of avoiding difficult conversations, whether it's addressing a conflict with a colleague, discussing a sensitive issue with a loved one, or setting boundaries, Stoicism encourages you to confront the situation directly. Instead of avoiding the discomfort, you can choose to approach the conversation with honesty, clarity, and compassion. By doing so, you not only resolve the issue at hand, but also strengthen your ability to handle future challenges with confidence. Another insidious habit that Stoicism can help you break is the habit of perfectionism. Perfectionism is the belief that you must achieve flawless results in everything you do, and that anything less than perfect is a failure. This habit can lead to procrastination, anxiety, and a constant feeling of inadequacy, as no one can ever meet the impossible standard of perfection. Stoicism teaches that excellence is not about being perfect, but about doing your best in any given situation, and that mistakes and setbacks are a natural part of the learning process. For example, if you find yourself paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes or falling short of perfection, Stoicism encourages you to shift your focus from the outcome to the effort. Instead of striving for perfection, aim to do your best and learn from the experience. By letting go of the need for perfection and embracing the process of growth and learning, you can break free from the habit of perfectionism and approach your goals with greater confidence and resilience. As you continue to break free from these negative habits with the guidance of Stoicism, you may find that the practice of self-compassion is essential for sustaining your progress. Self-compassion is the ability to treat yourself with kindness and understanding, especially in moments of difficulty or failure. It's easy to fall into the habit of harsh self-criticism, particularly when you're trying to change long-standing habits. But Stoicism teaches that self-compassion is not a sign of weakness. It's a source of strength and resilience. For instance, if you're working to break a negative habit, such as procrastination or overindulgence, and you slip up along the way, practicing self-compassion can help you to stay on track. Instead of berating yourself for the setback, remind yourself that change is a process and that setbacks are a natural part of that process. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding, you can maintain your motivation and continue moving forward, even in the face of challenges. Another important aspect of breaking free from negative habits is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to stay present in the moment, aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Negative habits often operate on autopilot, driven by unconscious thoughts and impulses. By practicing mindfulness, you can bring these habits into conscious awareness, allowing you to make intentional choices rather than simply reacting out of habit. For example, if you have a habit of mindlessly scrolling through social media when you're stressed or bored, practicing mindfulness can help you to recognize the impulse and make a conscious choice about how to respond. Instead of automatically reaching for your phone, you might choose to take a few deep breaths, go for a walk, or engage in a more meaningful activity. By practicing mindfulness, you can break the cycle of automatic behavior and create new, more constructive habits. As you apply these Stoic principles to break free from negative habits, you may also find that the practice of gratitude plays a crucial role in sustaining your progress. Gratitude is the practice of focusing on the positive aspects of your life, rather than dwelling on what is lacking or difficult. When you cultivate a mindset of gratitude, you're less likely to fall into negative habits, as you're more focused on what is good and meaningful in your life. For instance, if you struggle with the habit of comparison, practicing gratitude for your own unique strengths, achievements, and opportunities can help to counteract feelings of envy or inadequacy. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you can cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment that supports your personal growth and well-being. Another key Stoic practice for breaking negative habits is the cultivation of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going even when things don't go as planned. Negative habits often persist because they provide a temporary escape from discomfort or challenge, but this escape comes at the cost of long-term growth and fulfillment. By cultivating resilience, you can face challenges head-on, knowing that you have the strength and determination to overcome them. For example, if you're working to break a habit, such as procrastination or perfectionism, and you encounter a setback, resilience allows you to keep moving forward. Instead of giving up or falling back into old patterns, you can use the setback as an opportunity to learn and grow. By cultivating resilience, you can break free from negative habits and build a more fulfilling and successful life. As you continue to apply these Stoic practices to break free from negative habits, remember that change is a journey, not a destination. It requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. By staying committed to your goals and values, and by using the wisdom of Stoicism as your guide, you can overcome the habits that hold you back and create a life that is aligned with your highest ideals. This journey is not always easy, but it is deeply rewarding, as it allows you to become the best version of yourself, one step at a time. As you reflect on the journey we've taken through the principles of Stoicism, it's clear that this ancient philosophy offers timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of modern life. Whether it's breaking free from self-sabotaging behaviors, cultivating resilience in the face of challenges, or dismantling the negative habits that hold us back, Stoicism provides a powerful toolkit for personal growth and transformation. The path to self-mastery is not about perfection, but about progress. It's about making conscious choices each day to align your actions with your values, to face discomfort with courage, and to embrace change as an opportunity for growth. Stoicism teaches us that true success is not defined by external achievements, but by the inner strength and wisdom we cultivate along the way. It's about living with intention, finding contentment in the present moment, and navigating life's transitions with grace and dignity. As you continue to apply these Stoic principles to your own life, remember that the journey is ongoing. There will be setbacks and challenges, but each one is an opportunity to learn and grow. By staying committed to your practice, by embracing the wisdom of the Stoics, and by treating yourself with compassion and kindness, you can overcome any obstacle and achieve a life of true fulfillment and purpose. Now that we've explored these powerful ideas together, I want to hear from you. What resonated with you the most? What challenges are you facing on your own journey, and how do you plan to apply Stoic principles to overcome them? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. I read every single one, and I can't wait to continue the conversation with you. And if you found value in this content, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. We're building a community of like-minded individuals who are committed to personal growth and living a life of purpose, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.